Hi, I'm Kurt Doolittle for the Proprietarian Institute. I'll be your instructor for this course. This is an introduction, basically a course overview for Law 103 Foundations. This course provides an understanding of the brain, mind, language, and behavior, including the grammars and quite a bit that goes along with it, which is the core basis of all the thought that follows. And we're going to produce a universally commensurable language that serves as a system of measurement across all disciplines. Sounds like a tall order, but believe it or not, we can do it. We're going to also provide an explanation of metaphysics, psychology, sociology, and group strategy in this new universal language. Now, all other courses at the Institute depend on these foundations. We include the foundation in the law series because they are so heavily interdependent. But basically, to take almost anything academic at our institute will require this course. I don't think it's terribly difficult, although I as I've gone through it, I think I've tried very hard to reduce it to something that you'll be able to comfortably grasp if you've taken other college courses. Sometimes I'll succeed and sometimes I'll fail. But it is a bit of novelty, so hopefully you'll if we'll provide enough support for you as we go along in case it's not. The goal of the law courses is to produce this system of measurement and use it for the completion of the scientific method, and then to produce a law and constitution in this system of measurement, and then provide an explanation for the cause of the outsized contributions of Western civilization to mankind in its comparatively short time frames in both the ancient and the modern world. And both the ancient world and the modern, very short number of years, the Western civilization has produced profound innovations, and we're going to explain why. And lastly, we're going to talk about how the Renaissance and Restoration can be brought about, depending on how you look at it. Going back to the past, or a new awakening that we can create for our civilization and mankind by the application of this system of measurement to the law and constitution. So I'm framing, whereas traditionally we have framed the world in terms of theology, philosophy, science, and mathematics, I am going to add law to that hierarchy and say that it is actually the law of testimony that sits at the top of this pyramid of thought, which is the testimony on truthful speech. The course consists of these sections, which are the brain, cortex, and the mind. This is I found this to be really fun to work on, so hope you will too. The language and the grammars. This was hard work, and once you get it, you'll find it very empowering. The methodology. We're going to cover the methodology that we use here. In an overview section, and then apply it later on. It'll be the first time any of you have seen probably this methodology as one continuous set of fairly clear statements. Then we'll go into the epistemology, what that means, and it's the application of those to the social sciences, and that at that point we'll have built enough of a body of language to be able to begin to work on construction of arguments. So at the end of the course, you should have this commensurable and explanatory framework for understanding human experience and cognition. You should have a really deep understanding of language as a systems of measurement. I think one of the most common things people note is that once you understand the grammars, we call the grammars, testimonialism, the dimensions, and property in toto, and even the basics of what we call E prime or operational language, you begin to see how everything fits together. But what's not included in, and so once you have that deep understanding, you'll have the ability to compose and decompose arguments in a formal system. This will affect your life quite a bit, and most people who get a hold of this find that it allows them to look at the world, look at the social and personal, social, and political world the way with the clarity we are currently able to look at the world of science and technology. But what's not included here are certain depths. For example, if we could spend a whole course on neurology in the brain, but I'm only interested in getting across certain properties of the brain. In other words, the things that follow us into an understanding of how to create language that is free of ignorance, error, bias, and deceit, so to speak, or insulated from it. Um, I won't be going into all the details, although you'll find that I do, list papers, videos, books to read if you want to go into that depth. But I'm not going to do that in all cases. It would, well, it would be fun for us, and maybe that's a thing we need to offer. But it's not central. The function of the cerebellum isn't central to what we're trying to do. Um, the effort of this course is equivalent to a 3 credit semester course of that's what you'd see in college. I say it's sophomore or junior level here. I'm not sure about that, and I won't be sure about it until we've had the course run through enough people. It may be higher levels than that. Uh, my Either I have a poor recollection of the quality of undergraduate courses when I was a kid, or things have gotten a lot easier. So my view might be incorrect here, that this is a junior level course. Um, the requirements, though, are pretty simple. It's just watching these videos, listening to me talk about nonsense for a while, doing some readings, seeing some other videos, having an assignment and a discussion. Now, in other words, we have forums on the website, and so we'll ask you to make sure you interact with others. And the reason is that we're trying to get you very early into the method of trying to teach this stuff, even if it's just peers at your current level. It's a At the institute level, of course, this is part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to become accredited, so it'll be a 3 credit course. And I hope you'll find this as good or better than the best universities. It'll certainly be novel, and hopefully I can up our production quality over time. As we can see that I'm doing this under not ideal circumstances at present. I'm not going to go through this entire list of the units that are involved in this course. I have them all listed here, and if you'd like to pause the narration and read through them, but it's broken into a few sections. These sections are also listed in text form on in the course introduction page on the site. I do want to note that I am very flexible with organizing this information or adding or removing things to it as I go through and produce it. So the content and order may change a bit. I may break things into different pieces, but so far this is what I have. The course format is just like now. You get a video lecture. There's some additional reading or viewing, especially on things where I think you might want to know that I know what I'm talking about. I'll throw you to videos by other professors with additional depth. I'll refer to you to papers and books. I do read the papers and books, etc. But we are operating at a level of resolution that is not common. In other words, synthesis. We have just finished a long period of analysis in the from the since basically the availability of computer science and imaging. We have combined with our genetic research. We have quite a bit more knowledge than we had a bit ago, and we are still trying to counteract the effect of the pseudoscientific revolution brought about by the Marxists and postmodernists and feminists. So there is so what's happened is we've exited this period of analysis, and I'm part of the period. What I would assume is going to happen to many of us, the part of the synthesis portion where we tie things together. So we won't find too many similar works of synthesis out there. But I will hand you down to on almost any topic. And if you want more information, please ask me. Assignments are, I've tried to keep assignments simple. Generally speaking, I'm extremely concerned about definitions and disambiguation of terms because that's how we get terminology into systems of measurement, where a term is a very clear, unambiguous meaning, or at least relatively unambiguous meaning in its context. So most of the time, I'm going to send you to Wikipedia or this SEP, Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, whenever possible. I have certain excerpts from certain books at certain times that usually involve a chapter or two, but in general, I'll try to find someone else who's distilled that out. Um, the reason being, that stuff is informational, but at the level we're going to be working at the synthetic level, it's additional help. It's not necessary. In order for me to test you to see your progress, most of the assignments will involve a short essay online. You can just do it on the website. What I'm not looking for, I absolutely do not am not interested in memorization. I want to see if you understand how the pieces of the puzzle fit together, and not that you can quote me and so it's most of the time I'm saying, what is your understanding, or if you had to choose between these two choices, or what is this comparison? So that's what I try to put out there. Um, I'm trying to track your progress. I can keep all the students in a class in my head fairly well, so I can track your progress reasonably well if I get these essays. If you get into trouble, I will try to help you. Other students will try to help you. Bill will certainly try to help you on things that are his specialty. That we do have a requirement that you participate in these forums, usually by commenting on each other's answers or responding to questions I put forth for debate. This again is to get you comfortable using the language and to encourage you to approach. I'm trying to produce judges and teachers, and I'm trying to get you to be able to start out at the beginning, uh, being comfortable being wrong, right, or hopefully wanting to be right, but being comfortable wrong and trying to teach others and working together as a group to produce it. Now, I'm not a really big group activity person. My experiences, I might as well do it all myself, and I understand that from all the rest of you too. But you will find that the group people in this movement tend to be, or who are interested in these topics, tend to be pretty good people, and you'll have a lot of fun arguing with them. As an obvious note, I don't require any books or articles be purchased. In other words, one of the reasons I have all this stuff here is because it's free. We also have an electronic library that is boundless, and includes most works of relevance. So if you want additional information, in particular anything on my rather vast reading list or anything else outside of it, that will be we will have it in electronic form. What's gonna be different about working on this? I don't think there's a greater system of explanatory. This is my sell. Okay, I'm selling you. The difference is this is, as far as I know, there's no system of thought that's got greater explanatory power today. It's going to take some time from you, but I'm pretty sure it's going to change your life because everybody says it does. Everything you sort of experience in the world will sort of fit together rather sensibly, and the consequence is a sort of intellectual version of mindfulness. In other words, what I've noticed in myself as I develop propertarianism, my understanding of the world increased such that I developed this sort of peace of mind because there wasn't anything left that didn't sort of make sense. Now, people, human beings, and animals, and the universe in general, end up being almost endlessly amusing. So, there's always something funny or absurd or tragic in us being us, animals being animals, the nature being nature. But in general, there's a great deal of mindfulness to be had, and sometimes patience for others, oh, and fury with others. Once you see how everything fits together. So again, I'm going to put out there that just as the scientific revolution in the physical sciences made a very big difference in how we saw the world. I think propertarianism will help you see the world by that same kind of lens. Well, this has been Kurt Doolittle. I hope to see you in class. Looking forward to it.